If you found this video, someone either shared it with you or it was meant to happen. Get a behind the scenes look at what living in a community of people who are for you, don't judge you, and are in harmony with you looks like. We are Life Transformed, helping people go from isolation to community. Excited for you
Oh,
too.
I am excited too. I'm so excited about it. Oh my goodness.
She's getting into her passion, Tim.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I asked JJ if he'll do this with me, get a couple of them certified as therapy dogs, and then we go to places wherever, it's prison, hospital, bring the dogs, I'll bring my karaoke stuff, and we'll have a little party there, praise and worship.
I'm telling you what. So I met this lady who is a dog trainer here in Asheville.
Uh-huh.
And I said, let's just hang out at the brewery. So me and a couple of friends and her, we were there 2.5 hours. It was nonstop. People coming up to her, talking to her. She's giving out her number.
Tell me about it. I know it.
Dogs are magnets.
Oh, they really are. And they know who to chase away, too.
Well, when I heard Donald Trump didn't like dogs, I said, okay, that's it.
That's a big red flag right there.
That's a red flag.
Right there. Oh, boy. Not cool.
All these little discernment nuggets that we get, right?
Very disturbing.
Very disturbing.
If Donald Trump did anything to my dog, I think I'd have to take him outside behind the barn.
I like it.
Oh, me too, man. Ugh. So it's just the three of us right now, huh?
So far, just the three of us. And we've got
the three of us. I saw April this morning. I thought she said she could make it for the first half hour, but I don't see her.
Kathleen's going to be on at 5.
Okay, and that's when Morgan and
she wants me to send her.
Why do you have to send it to her? It's in Google.
I know. She says she has trouble with her phone getting onto it. I don't know.
Phone, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and do that.
I heard about the new Google glasses this morning. I didn't know about this.
The what?
I don't know anything about that.
It's a pair of glasses that actually accesses you to the internet.
No way.
Look it up.
That.
I think I did see that.
I was going to talk about this anyway, but might as well, since we are officially on the road and we're
Google glasses. AI translator smart glasses. Ray-Ban Skylar AI glasses.
Oh my.
Stores with Google glasses. Meta glasses. Google announces new Android XR smart glasses partnerships.
Of course they did.
Sergey Brin points to where Google glasses failed and what Android XR gets right. I guess they launched it in 2013, but they said they made mistakes. But now this is just today. They got a brand new thing. So it's in the news again. I don't even know what it'll do or can do, but I mean, I wear glasses, and they were saying you can ride with them, drive with them, and then you say, you don't punch it, but you just talk, and then the talk manipulates the glasses, so you see I don't know. Don't look at me.
Well, I already told Allison about this, but I last weekend I heard a sermon, and this dude, it was very interesting. He went through the different ages. There was the agricultural age, the industrial age, and then the information age. And he goes, then kind of the knowledge, information. He goes, that age is done. With AI, it ushered out the knowledge game. Because he said, we have knowledge just at our fingers now. The worldly knowledge is at our fingers. So what we as followers, Christ followers, don't worry about acquiring more knowledge because everybody's got access to the same knowledge. It's where are you moving to? What are you actually doing? It's taking some action in collaboration with others, is the way I put my twist on it. So it's all about action and not about gaining more knowledge. I don't have to go and get another degree. I don't have to go and
so what does action actually provide? What does action actually make possible?
Oh, transformation. I mean, it makes everything
transformation.
Transformation.
This is life transformed is the entry into the next age.
Amen.
The kingdom of heaven isn't about information. Nobody cares about that. It's what you just said. What are you actually doing with the information? What actions are you taking? Because it's the actions that actually transform people, not the knowledge.
Yep.
Knowledge. I used to, these landmark classes, Tom knows about them. They used to say knowledge is the prize in the Cracker Jack box. It's not worth anything. But everybody wants to dig in. They get their Cracker Jacks and they want to see what their little prize is. And they want to, graduate from this place and prove that they're smart. So they get this degree and they add that and they do that and they do that. But what are they actually doing? And that's the transformation age. Jesus said, blessed are those in the Sermon on the Mount. He said, blessed are those who hear my words and put them in practice. He always added and put them in practice. Yeah. Those are the people that are like the house that builds their house upon the rock. The people who hear my words and don't put them into practice are like the people who build their house upon the sand. So when the floods come up, the house goes kaboom. So it's the practice. That's the hook. Yeah. Anybody who comes in and says, well, what do you know? What do you know? Show me the knowledge. Say, oh, come on, knowledge. That's over the hill. There's no need for knowledge. Yes. It's what are you doing? What are you doing? We help people do stuff. We actually help people take action.
I love it. I get so fired up.
Hey, Jenny. And you know what you just reminded me of, Tim? There was a book many years ago that I resonated with, and I still do, not to the same extent, but the concept is amazing in combination with action. It was called Practicing the Presence, right? So practicing having his presence in us, being that, and taking action from that place.
There's the book. The Presence of God.
Let's see.
You shall receive. Boom.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. Seriously?
Yes. Seriously.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. You can't make this stuff up.
Mine's probably within arm's reach too, but I have so many things piled on top of it.
Wow. That's right. It was like boom, boom, boom.
Well, Bob Knight, I'm not saying I agree with everything, but he was famous for a quote. He said, everybody wants to win the championship. No one wants to practice.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to win the championship. Everybody wants to win. No one wants to practice.
Yeah. Jenny, we're just talking about something you and I talked about on our little deal too. We're going out of the knowledge age and we're going into the action age, the putting into practice.
And we're going from the information age to the transformation age. Yeah. And I'm even going to go so far as to say is that they needed to come in that order. Because people were going to search for information until it was so easy to get that they finally no longer are interested in it anymore. It's just too easy to get. Mm-hmm. So then they go, okay, what's next? And then we go, oh, we'll tell you what's next. It's the transformation age. And they go, what's that? Tell me about that. I go, oh, happy to do it.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? You said putting it into action. I think, Robert, right? Well, It's not called the Book of Acts.
Right?
Or accident, the Book of Acts. And we're kind of going into Acts 2 now, right? Yeah. We're going to, I think, have a new falling out upon us of the Holy Spirit as we go into these end days of this age, however long that is. But I really think we're going to see another Shavuot where the Holy Spirit falls again and we have that fire.
Well, it kind of makes sense, because if the information has finally been played, like, the phrase, "Oh, that's played, man." It's like,
yeah,
that's all part of the, "Oh, that's played out." Yeah, we know about that. If we finally could get to the stage where people weren't standing in line to get their next iPhone,
we are in that age, unfortunately.
What's that?
We are in that age, unfortunately, thanks to tariffs.
Yeah, but I think it's fading. It's fading. It's gradually leaving us.
I think it's not gradual. It's called the recession, which you see me dressed up that we almost didn't get our delivery because there are shortages again. So yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Well, this leads to
because the other woman's like, I'll just go to the Mexican store and get the stuff, and she's in the city of Memphis and she couldn't find it. But I got it.
I was just one of the topics. Might as well get you guys going on this right away. Okay, so the challenge is basically 2 months away.
Okay.
About 7 weeks. So, like I said, I'm going to be traveling for a portion of it. So I've already got like classes or teachings in all 5 areas lined up that I'm going to record in advance. So what I need to know from you guys is, what area are you going to teach in? So then I know what I have to fill the void on. And the sooner I know that, the better. So just go to your heart and just say, okay, I think I want to teach on spiritual, physical body, mindset, love, relationships, or gifts, time, talent, and treasure.
Okay.
And get that to me as soon as possible. No later than next Wednesday.
All righty.
Can I brainstorm out loud for a minute?
Yeah, go.
To bridge these two things, I think I just got the spark of what I'm about to talk about. So, Tim, your question was, what does action make possible? The converse of that, what's possible with inaction, right? Which is more of the same, more victim mentality, etc. No opportunity for transformation, and the decline. And I think that's, the dark ages, the last times, the end times that you're talking about, Allie. That's where we are. Like, people are fed up with the no mas, and in the world of, and in my world, and this is what I'll talk about, Robert, something about we're also in the dark end times of the pharmaceutical world, and the this for that healing, what passes for healing. It's not really healing, but the this for that covering up of the pathology, social pathology, in addition to, physiological pathology. And this emergence, this transformation, this new light. I'll read Acts 2 tonight and see what comes out, and swirl it through that. But it's something like that.
Okay, I love it. And here, advice on when we're the way these things are structured. And Jenny, you're new to this too. You want to teach, ideally, you don't have to do this, but ideally you want to teach the what and why during the challenge. And then the how is in a class or a course that you're going to offer within the community after the challenge. So you're teaching the what and why. Here's what I'm teaching. Here's why it's important. And if you want to know how to actually get out of, be ahead of the dark age of the pharmaceutical, Dr. T, then join my weekly call starting in August. Make sense?
Beautiful.
All right.
Yeah, I think it does make sense, Robert. I think that's a good way to approach it.
So what category would you guys put what Dr. Tom said in?
What's that?
What category?
Well, I would say, it could be spirituality or it could be physical body, because he's talking about the impact of the pharmaceuticals and I mean, it's all done in the name of the body.
Yeah.
Live longer, live better, take my drug. You look at the and Tom knows this better than we do, but you look at the drugs for MS, for example. They have interesting ways they language it. But what it basically comes down to is if you take this drug, you'll live longer, or you'll postpone the symptoms of the MS longer, or you know what I'm saying, Tom?
Yeah, and that's also the pathology that, what we're talking about in the transformation from information age into transformation. Information to transformation is our social narratives have been this for that too. You go to this college, you get such and such. You go to, take this job, you get this kind of esteem, like that. And that's all going away. That's like old news, toxic BS. And it's not going to fly here in this community. and health transformed is mind, body, spirit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Yes.
It's not body. It's not like body is. Yes, it's the body's mandatory because here we are in a corpus. So you better take care of this thing to thine own self be true, like that. But certainly not sufficient for what we're presencing. What we're presencing as sacred participation, and be my best selfish dude. Selfish meaning, I better help Robert be as good as he can be, and I better help Tim be as good as he can be, and I better help Allie and Jenny be as good as they can be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't have a chance. Like, that's the ultimate selfishness once you realize the ecosystem of things.
Yes.
And when you think about what you just said, what everybody just said, we are the temple of the Holy Spirit. So we're coming into Pentecost, Shavuot. And as we think about that, we want to be vessels that can be fully embodied by the Holy Spirit. And we want to be, in fighting shape as we go into these years of our lives. Jenny, you're a little younger than most of us, but
I'm not that much younger. I'm still Generation X.
Well, finishing strong.
I'm sorry, I'm not a baby boomer, but that's true.
I'm a baby boomer.
Well,
are you? Oh, I thought you were the other side of it. Okay, my fault.
I think this should be in the time, talent, and treasure domain. I'm not sure I'm going to take it on, but it's something along the lines of transforming from what I'll call egonomy. Egonomy is the ego in economy. Like most people, what really drives their economy is their ego. So what would drive an economy if it weren't based on ego? In other words, in economy, there's nothing wrong or right with economy, but if Tom had to make his money as a doctor proving how smart he was, then it's really an egonomy for him. He's got to tell you why, from an ego standpoint, you should go to him. What other ways could we drive, an economy that wasn't based on I'm better than you, isn't Scarfian, isn't egonomy? Yeah. Because that's what heaven's going to be. I think heaven's going to have an economy, but it's not going to be based on we're number one, the way most things are advertised. Like I'm better than Robert because my coaching does this and Robert's coaching is stupid. That's not what heaven's going to be. So how do we start how do we start creating an economy now that actually works for people, that and Tom, I know you talk all the time about how you think you got it, the model with LifeWave, and maybe you do. I mean, I don't know, but it's an economy, but it's not driven on ego. I'm rambling, but I hope you get kind of what I'm saying.
That's beautiful. That's
I love
beautiful.
the play on words, egonomy, about the ego and competition.
Yeah, it's an economy based on ego.
I'll riff.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
I'll riff on that a little bit. Oh, go ahead, Tom.
One little twist. When you said we're better, right? That's the ego. A shift in perspective of that is we is better. And there is no exclusivity. There's then the same thing, when Allie was talking about our body as a temple. Our body is now something way more than individual.
Yes.
Our body is the temple. Like, that's the economy.
Yes.
There's total abundance based on, I can speak any language on the planet. I can meet anybody I want, like that.
I'm gonna riff on that a little bit too. Some of y'all remember this that have been around here a while. Remember when I had that crazy download of we should buy a town?
I don't remember that.
I do. I remember it vividly because I've still got that back in my head that I need to put that little tiny home in my backyard. I understand.
Here was my thought. When my mom was still alive, she would put her finger up and say, "It's true." And she'd get this serious look. "It's true." So when I said, I told her, "Fear is a liar, Mom. That's from the enemy." And she waited, and she thought about it. She goes, "It's true." So I told her, I said, "We'll put a big billboard coming into this town." And I went online, and you can buy like towns in Montana or wherever it is. Just buy a town. And what if you just had this town? You just said, "All right, Tim, what are you good at? All right, Allison, you can bake bread. You come on and bake bread. Tom, what can you do?" So now we have our own little town, and it's based on we're all sharing our gifts. We're all as one. Oh my gosh. I got
They're called hippie communes, Robert. That's the old hippie commune.
Is it really?
And that's what Sybil wants to create. Sybil Marie Carmen, you remember Sybil? That's what she wants to create in Costa Rica, basically.
Yeah.
They come all over those kind of places.
Yeah, I mean, there are people that's what they want. I mean,
but there are lots of them that are being created right now. So it's not by accident. You're getting that, and I'm thinking. I keep, we've talked about this, Robert. I know I'm supposed to move. When, where, I don't know yet. But it's going to be with people who are in community, like-minded, equally yoked, walking that same walk. And we're going to be all doing things together, like you just said, helping one another in community. We are the body of Christ, right?
And it would actually be taking action.
Yes.
So people can see what is actually happening.
Yes.
Yeah, but again, the salt can't clot. The salt's got to be out there,
or else it'd be like manure. Did I tell you that one?
Yeah.
That's so.
I've used that half a dozen times this week.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, you're right.
We still gotta. It's so funny that Jesus didn't do that.
Right. No, this is true.
He did not do that. He told everybody, "Hey, go to the 2 by 2, go out and
2." But listen, as we move, if we look at scripture, it does move us in the direction where it is saying that we're going to be doing that. If we look at Revelation, the woman who is protected and she's in the wilderness, and it really it screams of safe havens for the remnant, for those. Yeah.
Come out of her, my people, if taken kind of in a sense literally, there's no question. Then we're talking, Amish communities. I mean, that's what they believe. They set up their community, and And I got nothing against the Amish by any stretch. I mean, they
Right,
can
right.
they live better lives probably than 99% of people in this culture.
And the
Well,
Mennonites as well. But
Yeah.
can I bounce something off you guys?
Yeah.
As it relates to the topics, as it relates to July coming up soon enough, I was thinking there are two things on my heart, and both of them may sound very. I know I'm not supposed to reason things. This is what I've been told, but it still goes in my head. One of them is that I was thinking about talking about how to become a chaplain and working, and as it relates to the how, that working alongside, because I'm working on the Life Pacific University and also the Christian Leaders Group. And the reason I mention that, even though I'm doing several things, is that they are saying that there's a high need for people as it relates to chaplains. It may not be the most lucrative thing in the world, but there is definitely a shortage, and especially for skilled people. So that's one thing. And then the other I was thinking about, again, doesn't make sense on the rational scale, but it's in my brain. And that is the and it puts me on the spot, but it is what it is. Lisa Turkhurst has the Boundaries book, but this Boundaries book is about sex and porn addiction. And especially, I was watching the news today and watching my hip hop shows, which I'm sure you all would say was very secular, which it was. It has very interesting language and imagery periodically. But that said, they even had mentioned, even these people who curse like sailors, that porn addiction is real, and that what we're seeing right now in the news and what's happening criminally speaking is related to porn, and that
Sure.
our
Of
corn or
course.
whatever you want to call it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Take it on. It's
Okay.
real. It's life. Are you kidding me? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
Jenny,
just
if you
saw
want
something.
to have a conversation with Jason, do you know who Jason Cisneros is? He and his
No.
wife Emily are very well-known truth tellers. They're out in California and they do child rescuing, and they have a very rich network all over the globe.
Count me into that, please, too.
Yeah.
We just had a huge thing here in Florida, up in the Tampa area, and I wouldn't have known because I don't watch television, but I was trying to find something on my my thing on YouTube or whatever, and I put the thing on, and it went right to it, and it was all the sheriffs, and they were reporting about something that happened here recently, a horrible ring that pedophiles, and it was all child porn and whatnot. And these people that were arrested, and they showed pictures of them and told a little story about them. Most of them were normal looking people that you would interact with. One of them was working for the Red Cross and married, and you look and you go, wow. It was just.
Well, if it's on your heart, Jenny, that's what it is. On your heart, then you just start thinking about, all right, I want to present the what and why on that.
Yeah.
And then start putting a skeleton around, what your how would be. And let the Holy Spirit, I would suggest schedule a jam. I mean, that's what I do. It works for me.
Yeah.
Just whether it's a 30-minute period where you're in a quiet place where you're peaceful, you've got your tea or whatever you like, and you just start with, start.
There's another guy, the one that Tom mentioned, and then there's another guy, I think his name is James, and he has a ministry specifically for people who are coming out of porn addiction, that I can try to facilitate a connection with.
Well, it's neurochemicals. So I mean, you're dealing with literal chemical addiction.
Yeah, dopamine hits.
And then combine that with the imagery. Supposedly, the analogy they were making this morning was that what's happening in that Diddy trial is synonymous with what you would see in corn.
I'm sure.
And some people are glued to that. They have to watch every little tiddling detail.
So, Jenny, what I would encourage you to do is let this come from the creative you. Don't start off by researching and getting all the stuff from out there.
Mm-hmm.
The Holy Spirit has got something specific that you have to share.
Yeah, there's that's really good, because in the Miracle Workers team practice tomorrow, I'm putting the question to everybody: what is your 5 loaves and 2 fish? Because everybody has 5 loaves and 2 fish. It doesn't seem like a lot, but you've got it, and it was given to you. That little boy was given his lunch by his mother, I'm going to bet you. And she said, here, take your lunch. I know you want to go ahead and go, but make sure you take your lunch. And he had it. Okay, he had it. And what I'm suggesting is that everybody is given by God a 5 loaves and 2 fishes, something that is their unique contribution to the masses.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And so you need to go to him and say, Lord, I think I know what it is, but help me, help me distribute it, help me give it back to you so that you can give it to more people. Because that's really what happened. He brought the food up to Jesus. Then Jesus took that food and circulated it back to all the people. It was the cycle. So if he's given you 5 loaves and 2 fish about this particular thing, you bring it to him. You say, Lord, what do you want me to share? Then he'll show you. Then you are totally free to share it. You don't have to worry about it. You can just share it. You say, here's my lunch. You can have it. And then he'll take it. He'll distribute it and do with it what he wills.
Amen.
Very wise. Thank you. Thank you. That was great.
Yes. Jesus came to say a new thing. I'm doing a new thing. Do you see it? Do you see it? He's doing a new thing, to Tim's point, in each of us. He says, forget about the old stuff. Forget about who's doing this in Carolina, who's doing this in California. You got something new that I'm working in you. And boy, I get so fired up about that.
Right. And it's something that only you can do.
Right. And that's the thing, going back to the science of dream fulfillment, that's the thing he whispers in the ear, that he's calling on us to shout from the rooftops.
Yes.
That's the process. And then as we do finally take that step to shout from the rooftops, what happens from that? That's up to him. Exactly. and whoever it touches. You're self-expressed. You can go to bed at night knowing you did what he wanted you to do.
That's right. I was going to talk about that too. It's like you speak the truth without attachment. You speak the truth without expectation. Like, give it away, like that.
Allison, you better teach something about dogs.
Which area would that go in?
Gifts.
In gifts, yeah. I will do that.
That would be just what we're talking about.
I will. And I can show them all too.
Exactly.
Yeah. My gosh, that'll be so much fun. Show and tell.
See, she says it's going to be fun.
Are you sure you want to trade? Mine sounds kind of dark. I'll take some dogs.
Okay, did I tell you the name of it? It's Angel Eyes. Get ready. Angel Eyes, because I wanted the A there. And angels are cool. Angel Eyes, Medicine and Support Dogs and Rescue.
Yeah.
And here's the beauty. It's not like every single presentation is going to be on porn. And you see, now that would be dark.
Wait, we have to call it corn. Remember, it's YouTube. Otherwise, you'll get called.
Let me
I love corn.
That would be dark.
Let me say something about that. This
other one. Corn.
I love that.
This is important, actually.
Okay. Oh, like all this we've been saying isn't important, Tom?
No. This is it. What Tim just said.
Okay.
What if it is all about porn? And just stay with me for a second. So, first of all, Jenny, I have a request for you and all of us, actually. Niels Bohr said to one of his students something like, "You're being way too logical. Start thinking." Something like that. And I heard a speaker last week talking about the lack of prosecution of the end user of these porn rings. We hear all about the busting of the thing, but where is the social outcry? Where is the shine the light on in a reparations way, maybe, whatever it is, whatever we decide to put that together as a convalescent, where's the therapy for these people, right? The end users get off scot-free, and you've heard me talk plenty about cancer. You can take out the tumor, you've taken out the evidence of the cancer. Like, you need the body politic. What we're creating here is, in the age of transformation, and the great we is notice the oncogenic change, notice the cancerous change in the moment, at the cell level, right, at the individual user level. And if we don't have call it the social fabric or the ethic or whatever that is, to compassionately handle whoever it is that's suffering, we're again, that's a pharmaceutical that's a pharmaceutical solution. We're taking care of the thing that looks like the problem. That's not the problem. These gangs wouldn't exist if we were healthy enough to attend to people who were suffering to the point where that is their pleasure. Like,
man, that is so true.
That's what Jesus and God teaches. One of the things I was going to teach, if it's needed, is divisiveness is from Satan. Peacemaking is from God.
What's from God?
Peacemaking is from God. Compassion, where, we're in a society of, we label people. Oh, they're a this, they're a that. And it's divisive. It's putting people against people. And we label them, they're this. And no, it's to your point, Dr. T. What God is saying is, no, you're all my children. We got to have a solution that's for everybody involved. The guy or the gal that's addicted to porn, all the way through the rings that are putting it together, all of those people.
All the way through to the people that are actually producing it, the people that are the directors, the writers, the actors. Those poor people are just trying to, I don't know what they're trying to do the best they can. I don't know. It's so sad.
And anytime we demonize any group of people or subset of people, that's what Satan wants us doing. He wants us going at each other and saying, you're bad, you're good. It's only one judge. It's only one judge. We are not to judge, but we are to come forward and be compassionate. So I love this. Let me read something. This is one of the things I wanted to share with you guys. Even when you're an expert, fear doesn't necessarily go away. It's accepting fear as part of the journey instead of running from it that helps you to conquer it. And then here's the key. To go anywhere, you must launch out from somewhere or you'll get nowhere. Isn't that good?
Yeah.
Wow. To go anywhere, you must launch out from somewhere, go, take action, or you'll get nowhere.
Well, unfortunately, there's no such thing as nowhere. What you get, the same misery that you had yesterday.
There you go. Yeah. You'll be right back where you were.
Yeah, you're right back where you were.
Oh, they're righteous. Oh, this is wrong in the world. This is wrong in the world. It's like, all right, what are you doing about it? What did you do? What action did you take? Oh, I'm complaining on Facebook. Oh, really good. That's really good. I'm at the coffee shop talking about it with my friends. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. Got to take that, got to launch and do something, or you'll get nowhere.
Can I tell you, just to finish the loop on what we were talking about before, and I'm going to send this to you, Jenny, and I'll copy you guys on it. So this is how they took action. Okay. Operation Fool Around and Find Out. A significant human trafficking operation in Florida, dubbed Operation Fool Around and Find Out, led to the arrest of 255 individuals between May 2nd and May 10th, 2025. The multi-agency sting, coordinated by Polk County Sheriff's Office with support from federal and state partners, targeted human trafficking, child exploitation, and related crimes. 141 individuals charged with soliciting prostitution and child sex, 93 individuals charged with offering to commit prostitution, 11 individuals arrested for attempting to engage in sexual activity with minors, 10 individuals charged with related offenses such as aiding and abetting, and it goes on. And there are some significant people like retired NFL linebacker, among more than 250 arrested in human trafficking sting, former NFL linebacker Darius Taylor. I don't know who any of these people are, but you might. Anyway, it goes on and on. And so that's the action they took. And I got to confess, guys, and maybe you can help me with this. Whew, my level of compassion and grace for these people, very, 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 very minuscule at this point.
That's okay. It's okay. I want to, and thank you for that. I want to get back because we got people coming on at 5.
Oh.
So there's one thing that we want to do. I promised that we do from last week is, remember we have faith in something in each of the areas, and we all went through from our own individual standpoint. But now we want to get our thoughts on what do we, from our own perspective, what does the world put their faith in? Okay, so let's start with the spiritual, and just shout out if you hear something. I'm just going to write them down. What do you think the world puts their faith in it when it comes to spirituality?
Well, right now a lot of people are putting their faith in the new pope.
Okay, that's good. What else?
Church leaders, pastors.
Okay. Good. What
if
else?
I speak, I'm going to sound cynical. The first thing that came to mind was family and tribe.
Okay.
Because of a lack of something in the church and the thing.
Yeah, that's good. We're brainstorming, so just throw them out. Just throw them out.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Hello. Hey, Dan.
Dan, the question
Mine is...
I got another one. Influencers. There's a lot of influencers out there now. If the right person says something, there's a certain coagulated mass that just kind of follow it.
I'll say the universe. I hear that all the time.
That's big, Robert. There's so much now about the universe. Oh, yeah, the universe, up to the universe. Okay.
Yeah. What else? For spiritual.
Mine's the same for every single one, which is money, unfortunately.
Money.
Because even with the spiritual, that there are the Joel Austins and I mean, he does go to the word. That's not the problem, but that they are accruing all this wealth and they're not distributing it.
Yeah. Say the question again, Roberto.
Okay, so the question is, last week we talked about we all live by faith, but it's what you put your faith in. And then we're looking at each purpose area and we're saying, okay, so for spiritual purpose area, we talked about where we put our faith and what faith is in spiritual for us as individuals. Now we want our perception of where the world puts their faith in for their spiritual existence.
Because with the influencers, they make money, and so therefore it's seen as a symbol, at least from my point of view.
Yeah, because we're trying to look at, this is the world we're dealing with. So we got to know what it is we're dealing with. Any other thoughts?
Did you get Tom's? The family is.
I did. Yep.
That's a biggie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Jesus even spoke about it. Very few pastors preach on the fact that he said, "Hey, I came to separate families."
Yeah.
because no one wants to really take aim at the family, but he did.
Yep.
I just want to throw this in. There's a bigger connotation to that term, the family. And a lot of people in that the family group definitely put their faith there, and to not good leaders of that.
Yeah. All right, let's shift to physical body. What do you think?
One more quick thing on that. One more quick to echo Allie. In the recovery communities, like the pay it forward idea, the whole compare in, right? Inside family, inside conscious tribe. We compare in, we hear somebody who's generously told their story. We take somebody's hand, walk along, and then pay it forward. Like it doesn't, whatever I get as my spiritual whatever fulfillment it is meaningless unless I give it away. So it's something like that. And people are finding that more and more. You don't have to be in a 12-step room to see that. Like this is that.
Yeah.
Correct, because that's something that even on the peer support question, I and some other people got wrong, because they said, where can you be most vulnerable? And the thought beforehand was the one-on-one scenario, but these days people are very vulnerable in the groups as well. So yeah, very true.
All right, what about physical body? Where does the world put their faith for their physical body?
Aesthetics.
Food.
Regular doctors, allopathic medicine.
No, not the way it is. Not the way it. Are we talking about the way it is or
the world?
Our perception of how the world views where they put their faith for their physical body. Not us, what we think, but how the world thinks. Our perception of how the world thinks.
Well, I go back to the same thing. Influencers, YouTube channels. I mean, there's a lot of people that, they get a following, and some of it's really great, but there's a possibility it won't be so great. So, I mean, the spirit of discernment is very important.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What else?
I think one of the aspects that I think can be teased and pulled out of what Tim is saying is that community is where we have faith and where we trust. Because as I know, Robert and I heard it a lot inside some of our training, is people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And so the influencers, they have influence because people have the perception that they know, like, and trust this person, that when this person talks about this supplement, they have done the research and they know what they're talking about. When they talk about their experience with surgery or medicine or working out, that they know what they're talking about. I've even found in this group, I am sometimes more likely to look at what you guys have to say about some of the health things with a little bit of a longer look than perhaps had one of my crazy family members mentioned some of the things that you guys have said. And I use crazy in quotes, but because I know you guys, and because I have seen that you guys investigate on different things, I will automatically assume that you guys investigate on anything that you're telling me about.
Yeah. No,
that's really that's a great point. That's really powerful.
And that is where the world is a lot of times. I've preached that too. You guys know that's the one I'm trying to get myself out of, is that whole world of all of that stuff. All right, let's go on since we're down to 8 minutes. Mindset. Mindset. Where does the world put their faith in for mindset?
Television.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Self.
good. Whatever.
Yeah, the self, the mirror.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, without being too obvious, you can look at SCAR for just about all of it. Where do they put their trust and mindset? Well, who's winning?
Yeah.
How do I win? That's the world's mindset. How do I win?
Yeah.
I don't even think it's that good. I think it's how do I not lose? Everybody's stuck in scarcity. I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to be last in line. I don't want to get in trouble with the teacher. Like,
it's good. It's good. I love it. All right. Let's go to love relationships. Where does the world put their faith in love relationships?
Friends.
Sexual pleasure.
All right.
Sexual pleasure. Wow.
What else?
And when I said Friends, I meant the TV show.
Right. I was thinking that too. Like there's so many dating things on television and people watch, is that how we're supposed to be doing it?
It was so popular. You just think of that one show. They watched porn a lot on that show. I mean, it was supposed to be a lighthearted, happy show of young, nice.
Right.
Oh, they were watching porn all the time, and that's
They
funny.
were the model of.
Yeah, they were bringing it into there, and even their relationships. Everybody wanted to just wish they had that going on for them.
Yes.
And I don't know what it is now. I mean, I haven't paid any attention to what the latest thing is.
I don't think it's on anymore.
Anything else?
It's on.
Really?
Yeah, there's a new generation. The generation. Yeah.
Focus here.
TBS has
anything else? Anything
reruns.
Else? Anything else from love relationships that the world puts their faith in?
Just similar to what Dan said, the impulsivity, the short term, not the long term.
Okay.
Immediate gratification.
Exactly.
And I'm going to find it someday. Like, it's always hope, and it's always out there.
Oh.
Something better.
Something better, yeah.
And you got to find it.
Even when it's going great. Even when it's going great, like we're addicted to the idea that, what next?
Yeah.
It's like you have to find it. You have to go looking for it. You have to be constantly looking for
it. Yes.
Well, and then the other thing is the serendipitous nature of it. Like, you bump into someone, and then that's how you knew that you were supposed to love them.
Yeah.
Because
starstruck.
Yeah,
is it that or the dating apps? People put a lot of faith in those dating apps these days.
Well, I guess they must. I'm too old for those.
That has come on in the last, I don't know, 15 years. Oh, okay. Dan is in portrait. Okay. All right. Let's go to gifts, time, treasure, and talents. Where does the world put their faith in? How you make your money, how you use your gifts, talents. Education.
I think some
I don't think some do, but I don't think a large majority.
Well, I'm just saying we all have our own perspective.
It's phasing. Some people, I think, still believe in quote unquote hard work.
Yeah.
You kind of you get out what you put in and hard work.
Yeah. What else? Corporate ladder, a job.
Yeah, that's status. Yeah.
Any other thoughts? Good. We're doing good. Where does the world put their faith in? For gifts, time, talent, and treasure.
Well, there's some faith now in something called win the lottery. Like luck.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people
gambling.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, but that's also luck. Like get rich quick, luck.
Yep.
I think we also have faith in our impotence, our lack of creativity. You know, like he's better than me. He's always going to be better. I could never do what she's doing. Like I could never paint that. I could never sculpt that. I could never deliver that.
Comparisons. Comparisons.
That's the other social addiction is we're not competent.
Yeah. Also credentials, credentials and net worth.
Oh yeah.
I would go more the latter. Because again, for the same reasons y'all were talking about, the impulsivity, the get rich quick, the money-making scheme, all of this, it doesn't, even an influencer, their average lifespan is approximately, or career span is approximately 5 years, but yet it's seen as an ideal.
So this is a great picture, and I'll summarize all this, but it's a great picture of where we see the world, just this group of 6 right here, and where the world puts their faith. And then we know where we do and our own challenges as individuals, you know, where we, you know, we know that whole thing. So I think it's just, you know, it's going to be fascinating going forward, how we're going to share that into the world. That may be a challenge topic now that I think about it. All right. So our guests should be joining us. We've got Shane and Morgan from Actiga. Okay, and they're a startup here in Asheville, entrepreneurial startup, and their software, I'm sure they'll tell us about it. But the reason, and I'll share this with them when they come on, the reason I think I was drawn to them was, number one, they have a similar decision-making structure to us. They don't have one person that makes the decisions. They do it as a collective, same as we do. And they're growing, so I think they're a little bit ahead of us, you know, in that they've got, you know, they're really looking to grow. So it's more of a worldly kind of thing, but then they don't want to sell out. That isn't their goal. Their goal is to just, no, we want to put a stake in the ground here in Asheville and be known as a software company, that you can do software in Asheville, and we're doing it for the greater good of everybody, and blah, 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 blah. So it's a big dream. And then also, I want to support the spirit of what they're doing. Those 3 things. So I just said, yes, we'll beta test for y'all, because they're looking for beta testers for their agenda software.
What's the name of the company?
It's called Actiga.
Actiga. Okay. Listen to that. It has the word act in it. We were talking all about action and the book of Acts. How about that?
True. That's pretty good. I like it.
Is this it as a French company and they're opening in North Carolina? ACTEGA?
AKTIGA.
Oh, okay. AKT. Okay. Still close.
Yeah.
AKTIGA.
Yeah. Make sure I don't have any.
AKT?
Yep.
IGA?
Yep.
Agenda Keeper is a modern meeting management tool designed to bring clarity and consistency to recurring meetings. Built by Actiga.
That's it.
Nice.
Mission-driven, triple bottom line, B2B, SaaS product development company, whatever that means. Software something. Dedicated.
Software as a, it's not solution, but it's basically a software that you sell, software as a subscription, I think. And so it's a subscription model is what SAAS is, I believe.
Thank you.
It has become a much more popular type of system um, for online business over the last several years, whereas in the past you would unlock the key to a software like
Morgan.
Windows.
And there's Shane.
Got it. There we go.
All right.
Hi,
How are
guys.
you guys?
Doing
Doing
well.
well.
Good, thank you.
Awesome. So I'll get right in here. Y'all don't mind? We're recording this. Is that all right?
Totally good.
All right, good. Okay, cool. So I was just going over with the crew. We got to meet you guys now. What was it now? Was it 2 weeks ago or 3?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
2 weeks.
Yeah.
The 7th. It was the
You
7th.
presented, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was telling these folks, and we'll introduce them and do all that, but I just wanted to do that. The reason that I was so excited about what you guys are doing, and hopefully I got this right, is first of all, Shane, when you talked about your decision-making structure, I think you said, you've got the leaders, the people on the team, but it isn't just me that, everybody has to make decisions. We do it kind of as a collective and together. And that just because that's what we do in our community.
Yes. Awesome.
You're seeing the leaders around here, got a couple missing now, but these are 6 of our leaders, and we do the exact same thing. So I'm like, oh, okay, there's some alignment here. And then the second thing was the growth. You inspired me with the way you guys are growing. I think you're further down the road than our community is. We've got a membership-based platform that we're developing. So I thought, wow, we can learn something from these folks. Okay, so that inspired me. And then the third thing was when you said, and we're not looking to build this and sell out. We want to plant a stake in Asheville. And I was like, yeah, let's go. So just on that mode, even if I was a singlepreneur, I'd be like, I want your software just to support you, right? And that was really the fourth thing, that our hearts are to support the spirit of what you guys are doing.
Cool.
And I think
Awesome.
the best way we can do that is to be a beta tester, but we can learn more about that today. So why don't, I don't know the best way to do it. What do you guys, and we're you'll see how we interact. We're just a group of people that are for each other, don't judge each other, harmony with one another.
Awesome.
That's the way we roll. So why don't I have each of you, life transformers, just say a quick sentence or two where you're at and what you're passionate about. So Allison, remember, keep it short. Keep it short. Keep it short. A sentence.
I love you.
I love you. I love you.
Glad Allie got in trouble rather than me.
All right, let's go. Let's start with, I'll call you out on my screen. Let's start with Jenny.
Me? Okay. I am passionate about Life Transformed, and it's been a joy. And of course, I guess I'm a colleague in some ways in the fact that I work online and have been working online. I'm going on 9 years, so I'm kind of an OG in it. And I'm passionate in all that's international. So yes, I look forward to seeing what you all do, and moreover with public speaking. So thanks for that.
And where are you located?
I am located also in North Carolina in a small town called Salisbury outside of Charlotte. So yes.
Awesome.
Thank you, Miss Jenny.
Thanks.
Allison.
I am passionate about all things that God is doing in the world today, and all these people here, and the connections and the love that we share, and being there for each other. And I'm really passionate about dogs and how God's moving in my life. And Robert helped me to manifest this, really make it happen, because I took my love of dogs and I'm doing a new venture now on that. So
Awesome.
Thank you. And where are you located?
Oh, I'm in Florida. Very hot here, 95 degrees.
Woof. Too soon for that.
All right, Sir Tim Matasio.
Hi, Shane. How are you? Hi, Morgan. Coming to you from Lincoln, Nebraska. And what really excites me is how scriptures, biblical passages come alive in the world today in communication with people. And in particular in the area of something called social neuroscience, how our brains are, and all the research and all the study that's being done now is just basically confirming many things that are talked about in the Bible. And so that gets me going.
Yeah, Tim does a lot of classes within our community, so I would highly recommend taking one of his courses. I mean, they're just amazing. Amazing. Don't tell him I said that, though. We don't want to give him the...
Yeah,
we don't,
just keep the ego in check, right?
That's right. Keep the ego in check. All right, Dr. Tom.
I don't know how I can do this in 60 seconds, but first,
I know. I should have given you the warning, not Alice.
yeah. Where's my warning? Our conversation before you guys joined was about the transformation of the known quantity of what tribe is and community and collective and whatnot. And Shane, I was looking on your website on our story. The Swedish word aktiegari means shareholder. When our founder Shane Pareco,
Perico, like Jericho.
Oh, beautiful. Discovered this word. He was captivated by its potential. Was it a tool or a platform? And on that's, being captivated by the word and all of the different ways that we talk about. My favorite phrase is humanity as organism, where we're connected, we're well. And so that's why I'm part of this community, is finding new ways to talk about the light and carry the message. I work in regenerative neurology and food as medicine, functional neurology, regenerative now. And I'm still addicted to talking about individual cell health, but I'm trying to break free of that, having worked in frequency medicine the past couple of years here, and learning that in that light, where we're in the light and we're in the spirit and we're in the thriving of each of us is co-creating. Like, you guys are helping finish this sentence right now. We're all in it together. So I love that idea.
And awesome. Where are you located, Dr. T?
Frederick, Maryland for the moment, on my way to Johannesburg.
All right.
Wow. Big trip ahead.
There you go. And then
that's what Alice said.
I'm sorry, Dan, I see you're probably driving. Can you talk?
Yeah, I can talk for a quick minute.
Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Dan Hinden. I am passionate about helping Christian entrepreneurs in particular develop their business in a way that allows them to have freedom to pursue purpose, to prioritize family, and to really enjoy the life that they have rather than allowing their business to control them. And so that is what I'm about. I'm in Hammond, Indiana, just outside of Chicago, Illinois, and I am passionate about Life Transformed because it has been a great place where we have been able to connect and build each other up. And as entrepreneurs, we often find ourselves kind of trying to go it alone. but this has been a great community for me to connect with others and to be challenged to continually grow rather than getting stuck in whatever's in front of me. So,
Thank you,
pleasure
sir.
to meet you guys. So glad that you're here.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you, brother. All right. Shane and Morgan, you guys have the stage.
Awesome.
Morgan, you want to fire away?
Sure, I can give you a quick 1 minute intro about me and then pass it to Shane for the same thing. And then we've got a quick presentation for y'all that talks about software that we're building, and we hope that you'll help us test and use. My name is Morgan. I'm our director of marketing at Actiga, and I am passionate about helping small businesses grow. I'm passionate about making work suck less. It's something that, like, you don't necessarily have to be passionate about what you do for your job. Your life should be where your passion is focused, but your job should unlock that. And anything that you want to focus on in your entrepreneurship or your career or your job for the week, as long as it's unlocking your life outside of that, I'm all in. And I love the opportunity to help small businesses make that happen. And that's how I came to join Actiga, was meeting with Shane and like, we feel the same. We're onto something here. So I'll kick it over to him.
Yeah, and we're both here in Asheville, and that's how we obviously connected with Robert. And he came right up to us both right after the presentation and was like, "We gotta talk more." And so it was great to get that positive kind of response to both the presentation, and there was a great group that was there at 1 Million Cups a couple weeks ago, and I'm really passionate about the creative process, and my background is organizational leadership and music and audio engineering, and so that's more of my technical background. And working with the design team and the technical team here at Actiga, it's a lot of fun to work with people who I think are way smarter than me, and I get to help craft projects for clients and also our own product, and that's really what we're here to talk about today, and that's the Agenda Keeper. This was an idea that I've been stewing on for a long time, and finally felt like I had the resources available, both from a design and product perspective and also from the technical software development side as well. So was really excited to be able to jump into that about a year ago, and we launched the product into beta in January this year, and it's really about managing meetings better, and so many people that I've talked to about how do they manage their meetings and how are they managing their agendas, and do they have an agenda, and where does that agenda live, and then where are they keeping their notes, and I've served on several nonprofit boards and volunteered as a web administrator for some nonprofit folks and for some organizations that I'm passionate about. I'm also kind of an aviation nerd, so I'm a pilot, and I volunteer with a aviation group here in North Carolina as their website kind of administrator, and seeing the same kind of problems over and over again of like, where's the agenda? Who took it last time? Is there a document? Was it a Google Doc or was it a Word doc? Wait, were the notes in there or were they in a different document? And it just was one of those things where I'm like, this shouldn't be this difficult. There should be a more organized way to manage agendas and notes, and all of that should tie to the meeting itself. And I live out of my calendar, and I feel like more and more people that I meet live similarly. It's like if I didn't put it on the calendar, did it happen? I don't even know. Especially when it comes to like professional work and meeting with clients or connecting with other colleagues and professionals in town. The calendar is really where all of that stuff lives. And so we wanted to try to design something that deeply integrated with the calendar, and made your experience of managing the meeting feel like an extension of the calendar, so that you didn't have to go then digging and searching for notes and documents. I think Google Calendar has tried to do some things where they're like, oh, do you want to create a document for this? And it feels like, the bigger players in the world of software are trying to solve for these problems because they run into them as well. And I grew up with a Trapper Keeper in the 80s, so I'm all about the Trapper Keeper, and that's very much where this product design was inspired from. Is like a way to have an organized 3-ring binder that's got some, creative flair and some unique fun, and kind of, for me, it's very nostalgic. So that's really what this product represents, is an extension of your calendar, a way to help manage meetings in a really sensible and organized way. I know we've got kind of a presentation, and if you guys have questions at all, we're going to walk through kind of like the pain points in meetings and talk a little bit about that, ask you guys for some feedback, and then we're going to show you some screenshots, and we can do a live demo of the product. We did just roll out a pretty massive like feature and improvement yesterday, so it's kind of changed the way that we onboard folks, and that's part of the reason why we put this meeting off a week, because we were deep in that work last week, and it was like, okay, we need to wait a week so that we can get this tested and get it out into production, so that we can then onboard people a little bit more seamlessly. And the improvement is significant. I feel like this is going to really make the experience for new users joining the platform really smooth and really simple. And we want this thing to become like a normal part of people's workflow and make it sticky in your workflow and in your life. So I'll start screen sharing, and I'll just pull up our presentation, and we'll run through it. Morgan will have some questions, and then we'll walk through the product. And if you guys have questions at any time, please just shout out or raise your hand or whatever works for this Riverside kind of thing. Cool.
Right.
Awesome. I'll do my screen, entire screen, this one, share, and we'll go to this here and present.
All right.
Awesome.
Well done.
Thanks.
Seamless.
Tim's impressed because he usually does things like that very quickly.
So the Agenda Keeper is the product, agendakeeper.com, and really, at the end of the day, it's about meetings.
Yeah. How many of you absolutely love the way your meetings are managed today? It's not a trick question.
No one raised their hand.
Meetings suck. Everyone knows that meetings suck. They are, next screen, there are too many of them. They're too long. Not all the right people are always in the meeting. They often feel like a waste of time. There are often no agendas. And our personal favorite, could this have been an email?
Mm.
Why are we meeting to go over this? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Back one.
There we
go. Shane, over here.
Yeah, so the problem really, there's some really fascinating research out there about how much is lost in poorly managed meetings. Forbes released a report, I think 2 years ago, estimating $37 billion annually lost in like productivity, poorly managed meetings. And so this is a huge pain point. It's really like an industry unto itself. And most of this in Forbes research was large organizations that don't reinforce good meeting management practices, like having an agenda and trying to scope and keep the amount of time that's spent in meetings like sensible. Like, did this need to be an hour? Could it have been 45 minutes, or could it even have been 30 minutes if it was run really efficiently? And then the hard part about meetings, especially recurring meetings, is the lack of follow-up. Who's responsible for what? Where's the accountability lie? Do I have another system, now a third or fourth different system that I have to track my action items? Or how do I create that own sense of accountability for myself and for my team? And all of this just leads to a lot of chaos and an overall dramatic loss in productivity. And so that's really why we wanted to come up with something that addressed this problem specifically. There's also a lot of folks, and really with AI, there's a lot of people who are using these AI note takers. I've heard a lot of horror stories of people not like joining a meeting with, it was supposed to be 10 people and it was like 3 people and 7 AI note takers. And I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds terrible. And note takers, especially AI for this specific use case, is great. I think that's part of why there's been this proliferation of products in the market of these AI note takers. There's Otter and there's Fathom and there's Tactic, and Zoom has their own note taker as well. Now, most platforms are kind of coming out with their own note takers now because AI is really good at listening and transcribing. That's kind of like one of the easiest tasks that you can put on AI as a system, as a task. But the problem that I have with that, and really the problem ultimately, is that AI note takers are not proactive tools. There's no preparation or planning. They're reactive tools. So it's passive. You're not going to improve the quality of the meeting just by adding an AI note taker. Like one of the things I say is an AI can take fantastic notes of a terrible meeting. And that all that does is make it really clear to everyone who's reading those notes how bad that meeting was. It's also a good example of an efficient tool that is not an effective tool. It very efficiently creates those notes and action items, but then you end up with this content that's all by itself in an email or in another system. And it's not really effective. It's not having an impact on the meeting experience. So it feels disconnected. It feels siloed. It's just one more system to have to go and try to dig up that content when it's needed. And it doesn't feel like it becomes an integrated part of the experience. And so that's really what we wanted to try to address. So the solution is the Agenda Keeper. This is agenda management for meetings specifically. We're trying to maximize effectiveness so that people are like putting in the time to prepare. It's like, oh, do I have an agenda? I'm going to go to Agenda Keeper and make an agenda for this meeting that I have later today or tomorrow. And just that, there's a bunch of research that says even just having an agenda and knowing what you want to talk about in your meeting has a significant impact on the quality of the meeting and the effectiveness of what's trying to be discussed, decided upon, or communicated. We're sort of instilling the product with this modern yet nostalgic design from the Trapper Keeper. And ultimately, we're trying to enhance team communication, team participation, boosting collaboration, and overall having a massive impact on these productivity drains that we see across organizations, whether they're for-profit or nonprofit or volunteer-led. It doesn't matter. Productivity is always a challenge. So we've got a couple screenshots of the product. This is going to be very similar to what you guys will see when you create your account. You'll log in, you'll get a little welcome message, and now the big change in the product is now we have this connect your calendar button in the top corner and then in this main meetings tab. And when you go through that process, it prompts you. We support both Google Calendar and Microsoft. So anybody who has a Microsoft account, you can create an account with a Microsoft like auth login or a Google auth login, or you can use Apple or LinkedIn. And once you connect your calendar, then all of your count, like this is a screenshot of my Agenda Keeper from today. And so you can see I've got this hold for Robert Bolden, and we actually made an agenda for this so that we knew what we wanted to talk about. We built this presentation deck. And so now that my calendar is connected, I can see all of my events from today and which ones are recurring. Like this one recurs every Wednesday. This one recurs once a month. And when I click on one of these things, then I get prompted to create an agenda, and I can see the agenda. I can take meeting notes. I can add personal notes that are just for me that no one else can see. And then I have access to this previous tab where if I click the previous tab, especially for recurring meetings, we really tried to design this product with the recurring meeting at the kind of at the top of the list of priorities. You then see every previous instance of that recurring event and the associated agenda content and notes content, which is super helpful. It just creates this really easy and accessible and simple organizational system.
Continuity.
Yeah, and creates that continuity. And that's kind of the basics of the product. Our ask today is for you guys to like create an account. If you have any trouble creating your account, reach out to us. You're probably going to talk to either me or Morgan or one of our other team members that are here in Asheville. Our team is 90% here. We just have 2 folks that work remotely. But I'm really passionate about growing a local team here in Asheville. So create an account, use it to integrate your calendar and use it for your meetings and your recurring meetings, and share your feedback. Let us know what's working for you. Let us know what's not. If you've got ideas or questions, we've got lots of stuff on the roadmap that we're trying to build, like action items that are assignable, that we're calling to-dos. We're deep in that process right now. We've got this idea of agenda templates that Morgan's really excited about. So we've got a lot happening right now, but we would love to hear your feedback. Help us test this thing and stress test it. Again, it's still an infant in the world of software. It's a brand new baby. And so there's a long way to go, but we're already really excited about how it works. I use it almost every day. And most of the users, we've gotten to about 120 users now. We do have a couple of folks that have opted in to pay, just kind of volunteer pay, even though there's not really any difference between the basic tier and the paid tier. People are just like, hey, I think this is great. I use it. I'm happy to pay $10 a month, or $12 a month. We have plans to have a team tier and potentially be able to approach larger organizations like enterprise style clients. But that's really where we're at right now. So if you guys are interested and able to sign up for an account, that would be great. Just go to agendakeeper.com. There's a big button in the top right corner. Click to get started, and then you just log in and you're off and running. There is a little tutorial video if you get stuck. But again, Morgan and I are here, and we're happy to do offer any support that feels beneficial.
Awesome. All right, why don't you share so we can see everybody's face again?
Okay. Let's do this. I'll go back to this and stop sharing.
See lots of everyone's faces again for a moment.
That was lots of faces.
Hey, and Kathleen joined us, I think. Is she still there? Yes.
Hi, yes.
Hey, Kathleen, if
I'm
you could
here.
just real quick, one sentence, where you're calling from and what you're passionate about.
Yeah, I'm calling from Beckley, West Virginia, and I'm passionate about community, from isolation to community.
Thank you, Kathleen. And
You're
we've got this recorded so you can hear the rest of the nonsense that's been going on before these guys joined us. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. All right, questions, you guys and gals?
No questions.
The stunned silence is really reassuring. Thank you.
Fantastic.
We're also available by email, so
anytime.
Chew on it, percolate a little bit, go sign up, and shoot us an email at any time.
I have a question. So do each of us sign up individually? And then how do we?
So that's a great question. So since the whole thing is connected to the calendar system, Robert, if you join, and you and Tim and Jenny and anybody else from the organization, if you guys have a calendar event that you're all an invitee of, then you will all see that same event in your own account. And then when any of you can create or connect an agenda to that event, and when one of you does, all of the rest of you will get an email that's like, hey, Jenny created an agenda for this event that you're all a part of. Click here to go check it out, add some content, take some notes. And then when you have your meeting, then you just go to the Agenda Keeper and click on that meeting row, and it takes you right to the agenda once you've connected it.
It supports live collaboration also. So if you are taking notes live, everyone can see them. You can share your screen to do that, or everyone can have it open on their own and be taking notes, or collaborate on the agenda beforehand, during. We really want to promote active and engaged meetings where your agenda is guiding the conversation. Part of why I love it so much is that I'm really passionate about how much meetings suck. And when we met for the first time, I was like, oh my God, you're speaking my language so much. I hate meetings because they're so poorly managed.
And hopefully I manage good meetings. I hope it's not a judgment of our meeting.
Yeah. The problem is that no one teaches you how to manage a meeting, right? No one, you're not born into the corporate world or business world knowing what to do and how you should manage and run these meetings. So our software is really collaborative because we want people to engage with each other in these meetings to make them suck less.
Yeah.
And that's also part of why I'm so passionate about templates for meeting agendas, because again, no one trains you how to do this, but if you have a template, we can help walk you through it and have better meetings that way as well, not just by giving you a place for your agendas and meetings.
Yeah, we can give you some suggestions, and I feel like there's lots of fun stuff on our roadmap, some really cool features that we're excited to build and bring. into the product so that people can use it. Obviously, templates is a big one. Like, here's a good example of a one-on-one. Here's a good example of a team meeting. Here's a great example of a board meeting. Here's Robert's rules. Like, some people are like, what's in Robert's rules again? I have to Google it, you know. But if you just had a Robert's rules template for a board meeting, that would be super helpful. Feels like there's a lot of examples out there like that. And so, you know, we're just really excited. Yeah, I think the collaborative text editor was one of the early features that we were the most excited about, because you could go in and you could see everybody typing at the same time, and if you hovered over their cursor, it would tell you who it was. And it feels a little bit like Google Docs, but it just feels like a much more curated and organized system around meetings. That kind of is, it has that like document, Google Doc, Word Doc kind of vibe. Because at the end of the day, we're just talking about text content, you know, inserting links, drop a picture here, but it's mostly like bullets and checklists and that kind of stuff. And so we still wanted to honor that piece of the most common like workflow and experience of managing a meeting and creating an agenda or having notes. Like, we didn't want to change the paradigm. We just wanted to create a system where all this stuff could live and stay connected to that event, you know. So it's like, you know, you don't have to go hunting for it. Now you just have one place for all of your meetings. You don't have to go someplace different for each of them, you know.
Oh, I love it. Well, one thing I thought about too that I wanted to share, just, you know, our community is really based on each of these people has a separate subset that they reach, right? Each of them. So, I mean, Tom's connections are different than Jenny's, than Tim's. And so what I'm excited about is potentially then being able to share. We beta test this, and then we can share it with our friends.
Yeah.
Let's go. You know, we tried this. These guys are amazing. Let's do it. You know, that's
awesome.
You know, that's our heart, I think, if I speak.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, and Robert, I just want to say how much I appreciate, you know, like your presence of mind and coming up and sharing your enthusiasm for what we're doing. And I very much appreciate that. And it's a joy to get to do this work, especially with a group of really talented and creative people. And I feel like you bring a lot of that similar approach to what you're trying to cultivate here. And I definitely I feel what it is that you're going for here. And so I'm really excited that you reached out, and I'm excited for you guys to help us improve the product, and hopefully it takes off like a rocket ship, and then we get to all benefit from what comes from that. We get to build a product that has a real tangible impact on people's meeting experiences, and whether that's a group meeting, or if it's like a Bible study group. I mean, these are all ideas that I have been thinking about. I grew up in the Baptist church, and so I'm very familiar with Sunday school and Wednesday dinners and Bible study, and, you know, all of those things. And, you know, I got my mom using it with her Bible study group, and she's like, we love it, you know. So I can just see lots of ways that this spreads out into our communities directly, and makes keeping up with the things that are important to us easy. You know, I mean, that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it easier for people to have organized experiences with the things that they're passionate about, you know.
I love it. All right. Anybody else? Any other questions?
Well, just one comment from Morgan and Shane. Our meetings don't suck.
That's good. That's good to hear. You guys are in the minority.
You're very ahead of the curve.
Ahead of the curve, 100%.
And there's a very simple reason why. No one has to be here.
Yeah, true.
We're not employed by Life Transformed. It's a different kind of a structure for kind of doing business. And so, you know, we're all here voluntarily. We all have independent businesses. We choose to spend some time because we choose to spend it. So, and if the meeting sucked, you know, Robert would just say, well, what do you want to do to, you know, make it better? But they don't suck, which is why we keep showing up. However,
so we'll just elevate your meeting then. Yeah.
However, having said that, sometimes they're so awesome, we come up with stuff and then we forget where we put them. We forget where we put
feeling.
that great idea. Or,
yeah.
okay, that was, oh my goodness, the Holy Spirit really opened us up on this one. And then it was like, well, wait a minute, what happened to that idea? So, at least from my perspective, and I'm just one person in the crowd, because I have a easier time coming up with an idea than remembering where I put it. So, what I'm hoping, if there's if there's some kind of value for this group, it would be that each meeting we would have access to it. Like we'd know that the notes, and who accountability, who said, yeah, I'll do that. And then we come back around and we say, oh, well, did you do it?
Yeah.
And because someone might say, I'll do it. And I don't even know who said it and whether they did it at the next one. So if there's something like that, I think it would kind of give us a hyper jolt of productivity and traction, if you will, that I say we could benefit from. So thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, action items, and that's like the next thing on our roadmap, and we're excited about it because that piece of feedback comes up often. So Tim, thanks for offering that. It just validates what we're hearing. Everybody says, oh, would there be a way for me to assign an action item or a to-do to someone? And we're like, yes, that's coming soon. It's not in there yet. You can put a checkbox in, but that's the closest we have right now. But the next step is on the horizon. So it's exciting. And to know that those are the kinds of things that people are looking for to create that sense of responsibility and accountability, to know when was it said and who said it and who said they would do it and when did they say they would do it and when are they going to do it by? Like those are the kind of the core pieces of what we feel like is important for that part of it. So so feels really important for us to be working on that piece of functionality really soon.
And without that feature formalized right now and available, you do still have the access to the notes and the continuity, and you can very quickly click over and say, wait, in the last meeting you said you were going to do this. Have you done it yet?
Yeah.
What's going on?
And there's a little checkbox there and it's not checked. So
so without the formalized feature, it still exists. You can still get that experience in the interim too.
Yeah.
I love it. So everybody, agendakeeper.com before next Wednesday. I'm doing one of those right now. So
yes, make an agenda for next week's meeting.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Robert, thank you so much for your time. And I know you guys probably want to get back to it. So please reach out anytime with questions or thoughts, or if you guys all have collective feedback and you want to feed it to us directly from one person, or any of you and all of you, please feel free. We've got an open door. Send us an email anytime or contact us through the platform. We always stay on top of those things pretty promptly. So any and all feedback, good, bad, and otherwise, we're wide open.
Oh, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Nice to meet you guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One more quick thing.
Take care.
And appreciate.
I just dropped. I'm still here.
Oh, go ahead.
Definitely appreciate what you're up to. I, like Tim, am not the most organized guy in the world with having my reminders. Luckily, I have very conscious communities, and I've defaulted into having people remind me when I drop the ball. But in the world of, if I could wave my magic wand, and I don't know software at all, so I don't know how to integrate this. But as you're creating this, it might actually be, if there is such a thing as an AI understanding of the, what was said and where it goes, it'd be kind of cool if, we've all got one of these, if it could pop up and say, hey, Tom, you said you were going to paint the lawn chairs by Sunday,
a little push notification.
A little push notification once a day until one thing happens. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's definitely on the roadmap, 100%.
Cool. Yeah, part of action items is also how do we remind people of their action items and make sure they get completed, not just that they're recorded somewhere, but that we help prompt them to be completed. Definitely
very cool.
On the roadmap. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
One of the things that I'm really curious to see is how it works with our group, because our meetings tend to be more gatherings necessarily than meetings. And so we welcome the community building aspect of it, which sometimes, as a very driven person, can wind up being like, oh, wait, this growing in community is what we're going for, not just what is our next task. And so I'm curious to see how the evaluation aspect plays in with that and how they work together. Thank you guys so much for taking your time today.
Yeah,
sure, of course. Yeah.
And the other thing, it's a lot, I think, on Robert, because he really holds it all together and manages all of the back stuff. And I don't think any of it, I take for granted a lot of the time. It's just there. Well, I can just get on there and grab it. I forget he has to be back there scheduling and putting it and doing all that stuff. So, it would be great if what you come on board with helps to take some of that off of him so he can go do everything that he's so good at doing and being like Jesus.
Awesome.
And we appreciate it so much.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
And and I'll let you guys go. But Dan, to your point, I think this is exactly the spur for us to be a little bit more, as Tim said, more productive and more driven. And that's why I'm excited about the way they're growing and launching, because I think this could be a template for the way we do the same.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Really nice to meet y'all.
Here, you guys.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Have a blessed evening. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Good luck to you all.
Thank you.
Lycka till.
Okay. So what do you guys think?
Cool.
Well, what's the ask? We're all signed up by next Wednesday?
Yep, we're all signed up by next Wednesday.
I'm a little nervous. Does it separate things or no? I mean, because it sounds like, that was my concern. I like that, I like that Life Transform stuff is kind of separate. Will it continue to be as such? I see.
Okay, my understanding was if we all sign up Agenda Keeper and then we put our weekly meeting in there, that's what we'll get access to. Is that what you guys thought? Well, that's what we'll have to figure out. So what you're saying, Jenny, is...
Yes, I think it will all be separate except for when we choose to collaborate.
Yeah. That was my understanding.
I thought that would be the case, but I wasn't for certain because then they were talking about these things about like putting people together and I mean, that's great and all, but it's kind of hard for what I do. So, yeah.
Say more, because I'm not...
Well, I mean, as the fact remains that, for instance, my calendar, it has a separate business calendar to the Life Transformed, even though, they're different colors or whatever, and I just like keeping them separate. That's all. Even with Slack, that I use Slack for Life Transformed, and fortunately I don't have it with another company because Slack for 2 different companies or 3 different companies I have found is it gets cluttered and it collides. It's not supposed to, but it does so. And the same thing is true for instance, there are other apps where, as I said, it just needs to stay separate or else you can't figure out what you're doing when, and you can't get to where you need to go. Like case in point, this computer, I can go, even though I now left, but for instance, this computer, the way that Microsoft has things designed, I can only go to Liberty on this computer. I literally have to do my Teams on another computer because otherwise Memphis doesn't like Liberty and Liberty doesn't like Memphis. It's just the way it is. So.
Well, my prayer is that this won't go anywhere near any of that, what you just said.
Okay.
All right. We'll see. We'll just sign up.
Like I said, I've been doing it for 9 years, so I have seen, unfortunately, when it doesn't. So I'm not saying that theirs did, and that's why I didn't bring it up, because I'm not assuming that it does, but I'm just saying that that's why I was nervous.
Well, my understanding of a beta test is it's done to see how it works. It's not done to sign up or pay anything. And to see, it could be it's a great thing and doesn't work for us. It's possible. And it could be it'll be great for us, and we just have to figure out how to use it.
That's a good point. Yeah.
My understanding was that if one person shared the thing, that we had access to each of the people for whom the thing was shared had access to the whole platform. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't catch all the details, but why don't you sign up and send us all a link for next week?
Yes.
And we'll see if our personal functionality is the same as yours. If it's not, then we have to sign up individually, I guess.
Yeah, and I can talk with Morgan because that was the question that I asked. So my understanding is, like, I'll sign up, you guys will sign up.
Well, why don't you sign up and send us and create just a tiny little agenda for next week and send us the link for the thing.
Yeah, I think that's the way it works.
I don't think we can get the link until we sign up. That's what I understood.
Yeah. Oh. So let me talk it out. I think this is the way it works. That's kind of the question I asked. Everybody signs up, and then we have one meeting a week, the leader meeting. And whoever's invited to that leader meeting that's on Agenda Keeper will see that. So that'll be it. That'll be the extent of it. We'll have this one meeting. Then if we want to add one of the Saturday meetings, then we can put that in there. We can kind of expand from there. So the trigger is if you're invited to, let's say there's 100 people on Agenda Keeper, and let's say Morgan, we schedule a meeting with Morgan next week, and she's on Agenda Keeper, and she's invited to our meeting, then she would get a notification through Agenda Keeper. But if she isn't invited to our meeting, then it won't populate. Does that make sense?
That part I understand. Yeah, I think that's pretty clear. Okay. Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll sign up today or tomorrow. And then if you guys can start signing up on Friday, and we'll just kind of play around with this, and then next Wednesday we can see what it looks like. I'll create an agenda. I'll make sure you guys are invited. Once you tell me that you're signed up, right? And we'll just go from there.
Would you please send something, create your thing tonight or tomorrow, and send something so we can actually see what the invitation looks like? Maybe, we might have access. We might have full access.
I don't think you'll get an invitation. I can't send anything to you because you got to sign up first.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's what I asked her. I said, does everybody have to sign up? And they said, yes. Everybody has to sign up.
That's what I understood as well.
Yeah. So you got to sign up on Agenda Keeper first. So that's step one for everybody.
Okay.
So now I'll create a meeting next Wednesday, our leader meeting, and I'll invite each of you. And because you're on this Agenda Keeper platform, you'll get the invitation. Boop. Okay, you're invited to a meeting with Robert, but it won't go into any of your other meetings, and it won't pull any of that other stuff. If Jenny then creates a meeting because she wants us all to get together on Saturday, then she can invite whoever, and it'll go out to all of us.
Is there a fee for signing up?
No, that I got. It's free, and it's beta.
It's free. It's free, and it's beta.
Okay.
Yeah. And like you said, when they eventually launch it, their program now is $12 a month. That's what it's going to look like. So,
I see. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that.
It was that easy. It was that quick.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll go on there, and if I have any trouble, Robert, I'll come knocking on your virtual door.
I'm knocking on what you already did it, Tom. You just said.
Yeah.
Sounds like that Three's a Company thing. Oh.
Well, why don't we got 10 minutes. Why don't we all just do it right now? Go to agendakeeper.com. I know, Kathleen, you're driving, and Dan, you're driving, so you may not be able to.
Yes, but I did not know that Kathleen is in Beckley. I teach in Beckley Stratton. Woohoo, small world. And now she has left.
Russell's in Beckley, too.
Oh, wow. It's a very small world.
So did you sign up, Dr. Tom?
It gives you the option of signing up with your Google account.
Okay.
And so I just said yes, gave it access, and boom.
Oh,
and
yeah.
now
Sign up. So
But
you
it
hit
won't
the
give you the
sign
option
up.
to do other email.
Yeah,
I like the
it
other
does.
Yeah, it
option.
will. Yeah.
Okay.
It does.
Continue
Woo!
with Google.
Sign in.
Yeah,
You're
it does.
good.
Okay, I like the other one.
Okay, I think I'm in too.
All right.
Yep. Confirm. Let's go. I like that. Let's go. All right, we're in.
Can you tell me what I'm at Google, but I had to go out for a minute. So how do I do this?
Go to agendakeeper.com.
Agendakeeper.com. Okay.
Yeah. And say sign up.
Okay. Did you do it with email?
Yeah, I did mine with email instead of. I don't like doing too much with Google. They sell that stuff.
I just got welcomed.
Yeah.
It gives you the option of
using an alternate one. I would, because especially if it's beta, they're going to. Well, I don't know if they will, but some people, some groups will sell it.
It gives you the option of entering a referral code, and on the profile page, it gives you your own personal code, and mine is Tough Dingo.
Funny.
Love it.
I don't know what Tough Dingo means, but I've been pegged.
Oh, I love it.
But it's weird because it's asking to connect to the calendar, and that would be the entire calendar.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be. It says it's time. Connect your calendar to start syncing. Connect your calendar. I think I'm going to watch the tutorial.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That's only 54 seconds.
Well, well, yeah, everybody watch the tutorial.
What it is. But as I said, it's like Google and putting it all together. That's a lot. In my case. Potentially. Maybe not in the summer, but in the regular year.
Well, how can I say this? Then this is me. I'm not a technical dude either.
What are you talking about? You got the whole Podia thing, and then you got your studio. I was actually a little envious in trying to figure out the YouTube studio and how that works. I need to figure it out someday.
Oh, well, we can definitely do that. But this has all been, as Dan knows from my coach, Christian Simpson, he once said to me, because I'm frustrated, I'm like, oh, I need somebody that can do this, and I need somebody that can figure that out. And he goes, Bob, I sorry to tell you, but you're going to have to master these things first, because then when you delegate them, you're going to know what's going on.
Yes, I remember my.
Oh, suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah, I remember the university professor or president delegating things to me, and I'm like, well, then how do I do it? And I was fresh from school. They're like, we don't know, but you need to get this done. Okay, and I figured it out, but it was before the advent of YouTube and so on. So it was.
You eventually figured out the way I think this is going to work, and I could be wrong. Is
the real deal.
Is you let's say you sync your Google Calendar to here, for example. Then you can see your calendar as it is, so nothing will change for your Google Calendar. The only thing that'll change is if Life Transform puts a meeting in, it's going to show up. That's my understanding. So it shouldn't confuse anything. Like it's your Google Calendar isn't going to change. Agenda Keeper is just kind of.
Exactly. It's not going to change. So therefore, it's going to have the Life Transform stuff. It'll have the Björg language, Jenny stuff. If I put my school stuff, it'll have the school stuff. And then it'll have my lessons with the 3 or 4 corporations down below. It just doesn't.
Yeah, but that's no different than today.
I don't have it. I mean, I still keep them separate, so Google's the only one that knows.
Guys, I need to hop off here at the top of the hour.
Okay.
Where was
we'll
that?
talk some more, Jenny, because
Where
I'm
was that?
still not quite understanding what's going
Okay,
on.
I'll show you my calendar, and then maybe you'll understand better. But yeah.
Tim, where was the video tutorial that you saw?
Where was it?
Yeah, where is that?
It's right there on that first page.
I don't have it. Apparently.
It's 54 seconds. It said view tutorial.
Huh, okay.
Oh, yeah. It's right there, Tom. It's right on the page. All right. Who wants to pray us out?
Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for expanding our horizons, keeping our cognitive agility at a high level. Lord, continue to bring us new challenges so that we can grow in you. Help us not to get complacent. Help us to share the beauty of your love with other people. Amen.
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 Amen. Yes.
Prayer. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you very much,
Vamos,
everyone.
let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
Vámonos. Adios.
Yay.
Corazones, hearts, yarta.
Subscribe with the notification bell to receive regular updates on our community. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button to see more like this. And we'll see you the next time on this amazing journey of living heaven right here, right now on earth.